Well, hey guys. How was everybody's weekend? Okay. Hi. This is a different Simpcast than usual. I'm just gonna start. It's just gonna be me. Because I feel like I need to explain some things. I need to talk about everything that's been going on this week since I had Melanie Mack on my channel. And if you see me looking at notes, it's because I have really taken the past few days to listen and reflect and collect my thoughts and also collect the thoughts and concerns of you guys. And I want to make sure I'm addressing each point and being thorough and being honest and being transparent, because that is not something that the quartering has given you all. And I want to just put it all out there and answer your questions. And but at the same time, I'm not looking to make this a 3-hour long stream. I never wanted to talk about the quartering drama. I just but I've been sort of bullied into it here. And so I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to do my best to address everything. And there's some of you listening tonight that are never going to believe anything I say. There's something about that with her. I never meant to like mislead people. I never connected the drama that was going on with Jeremy to Melanie. I never thought that Melanie needed to answer for Jeremy's sins. I knew there was drama with Jeremy. I knew he had beef. I knew there was shit going on. I wasn't expecting 2,000 brooms. When people say, Chrissy, the chat tried to tell you, the chat was extremely hostile. The chat was extremely insulting to both of us. And what am I going to say? Melanie, there's 1,000 oranges coming in. Let me put you in the waiting room. Well, so I just was like, all right, a lot of these chats are saying the same thing. I'm not going to apologize for having her on. She's my friend. I wanted to talk to her about Catholicism, me getting confirmed, and her getting married. She caught the bouquet at my wedding. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to be like, hey, why wasn't I there to catch your bouquet? But so I'm not going to apologize for having my friend on, because that's retarded dream from 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks before I had Melanie on, I was on a stream with Nina Infinity and also Verbal Riot, where we did discuss the quartering drama. And I watched it last night to refresh myself, because I heard that I was listening to Camelot and Nina's stream. And I was like, wow, I need to listen back to this. If we talked about this Jeremy stuff more than I had remembered, and I listened back to it, and I was honestly shocked. I was like, wow, I'm actually really embarrassed that I didn't recall everything in this conversation. It's and I dropped the ball. I should have been up. It's just drama. And then when I tweet what's going on with Jeremy, the responses are cuck. He's a cuck. Okay, I don't care about his like sexual life or his marriage, or you can understand how that's confusing. That's a lot of different conflicting messages. Explain, like, I was given a lot of information on this, and I'm just now kind of going through and figuring out like what's true and what's not. I have to clarify that I'm not being paid by Jeremy in any way, shape, or form. I accepted coffee from him for an event we did back in September called the Content Hotel. It was 8 months ago. He sent me coffee. He was one of 12 sponsors who sent different food or coffee or whatever for the green room for the event. And so I thanked him, just like I thanked all the other sponsors in the body of that event, if that makes sense. So I thanked Coffee Brain Coffee in the content house description, because like I'm not trying to fucking bring everybody down, but there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of other personal stuff that I've been going through in the last few months that has very much distracted me and taken up my headspace and kept me from doing things like catching up on the quartering. Hope we can all get along, even when mistakes were made. Thank you, Gay. Chaz, playing stupid won't help you or make you fertile. Good to know. Aided Clock. So you got caught sweeping for a flagette. People are digging up your lies, all for a drunkard who betrayed his oldest friends and deleted his Twitter in a crash out. Welcome home. Thank you. Phil My Crack. How was your weekend? Or Mother's Day? I didn't.
Happy Mother's Day.
And Venti is here. And Venti is here. Hi, Venti. Hi, Venti.
Hi. I have to. So really quick, it wasn't a privacy complaint. It was that Jeremy had threatened to get his non-Indian YouTuber representative, to strike the Kino Casino. He said he would take everything, and then he was publicly endorsing it. And so it wasn't a privacy complaint.
Okay.
That's true.
And then also, it's not about like guilt by association. It's that Melanie was defending Jeremy's actions, not really addressing them, and then reframing it as, well, it's just because the hater trolls, SJWs, whatever, and people who had legitimate criticism, rightfully so, of him trying to deplatform people that you're co-hosted with on FNT, him coming for me and everybody else, that's wrong. And Melanie is essentially co-signing it and not really addressing it on stream and reframing it like it's just trolls. And I don't think it's fair to say that it's just guilt by association. But anyway, so Chrissy had seen this, and when I saw this, after I got off the phone with Chrissy, and she had gotten done telling me like, well, I didn't know stuff. And then I see that stream where Nina is breaking the entire thing down where, hey, like Jeremy deplatformed people. Here's a screenshot of the tweet of him going after Brittany, Yellow Flash, and other people. And then it's like, well, I didn't know. It's like, well, in my opinion, to Chrissy, as I said on the phone to her, I think it was more than enough information. And I get and Chrissy is being honest when she's saying that she has a lot of in real life stuff going on. Like, I'm going to be honest and fair. She does. And obviously she doesn't want to like talk about it online. But anyway, so it's like this inconsistency, and it's like there. And then 2 weeks before that, you responded to Melanie's tweet. So that I don't understand how it's the case that you didn't connect it. And I think that's how other people view it too.
And I totally understand how people are viewing it. I did not connect all of Jeremy's drama and bullshit to Melanie. I did not. When I interviewed her, it was to speak on these other topics, and I didn't think she was responsible for what Jeremy did. I went through it. And
you said there was conflicting things, right? That Melanie was saying like, oh, it's a nothing burger, essentially, right? But Nina 2 weeks had told you otherwise. So if you're saying that you had her on anyway because there was a confliction, then that doesn't make sense to say that therefore you didn't know. But even if we did assume that, right, and it's like, you know, you just didn't remember from 2 weeks ago, even though it's serious, like I think that would be something to remember when he's saying he's going to go after me and he's already deplatformed people. I think that's on your responsibility, especially because we've known each other a long time and we worked together a long time, to take something like that seriously. And when Nina's telling you as your friend.
And that's what we had to do these last few days. So again,
Chrissy, I'm really sorry that happened.
Like I did today, back then, it would have been a completely different interview.
But when you're saying stuff like that, it makes it sound like, well, dang, I have to like take accountability here. And it's like, you know, you open the stream with, I was bullied into it. And I don't think anybody would want you to say anything you don't mean if you're bullied into this. Like, who's bullying you into this? And all I'm saying is that there was a conflict with Nina telling you about Melanie the day of in the message, hey, you're going to ask about Jeremy.
Yeah, I didn't see that message.
So there's that.
Where I streamed with Melanie. I was focusing on Melanie and these issues that I'm dealing with. It was literally taking place the whole morning of before I streamed with Melanie. So I'm focusing on my private stuff, and then at night I had my stream with Melanie. So again, like, hindsight is 2020.
Like, this can be a setting where we can, you know, meet in the middle a little bit.
So why wasn't it a red flag for you when you have two conflicting things? Because you said you were thinking about the Nina thing, you're thinking about the Melanie thing. They're saying conflicting things. She's saying it's nothing burger, and Nina's like, Chrissy, this is serious. why is that not a red flag to look further into?
I mean, I know, like, Brittany, you're probably wishing, like, Chrissy, why didn't you handle this like I would have handled it? And, like, I wish I had your brain. I wish I had your talent for investigative journalism. I wish I had your talent for deep dives. It's why people love you, Venti. It's why you have a whole chat calling for you, is because you're so good at what you do. And it's why you're fun to watch and you're entertaining and you're fun to have on stream.
You having Melanie on, it's the fact that she was on and then given no pushback, as she is essentially co-signing and laughing with Jeremy. You know, she's replying to his tweet about them getting
Jeremy.
The platform.
Jeremy wasn't on.
Well, hold on. So on Twitter, when the Kino Casino got deplatformed off of YouTube because of Jeremy rallying for that and threatening to use his connections as a channel with 2 million subscribers, he posted a card that had like casino theme on it right after they got banned. It was the #1 trending thing. This is his job. He knows it's happening. He's been honed in on this for weeks at this point, arguing with them, going on drunken rampages, deleting stuff. He posts this card to taunt them, and then Melanie replies to it. So things like that are seen as her co-signing it, and she has not, even to this point, spoken up on her friend that, well, he pays her, so people have a problem with that too. And then she's not speaking up on the deplatforming. And so it's not, oh, well, I'm not going to apologize for not having a friend on. It's the fact there's no pushback, and the Kino Casino is not able to go on their YouTube and defend themselves. So that's why people wanted me on. And if you didn't want to have me on, then it should have probably been you that gave some pushback, considering that Nina had given you the rundown on stream. And it was enough to have some red flags. And even though it's a mistake on your end, like, there's still like mistakes made that should, if it were me, I would apologize. But
video that I ended up watching,
well, it was trending for like 3 weeks.
Okay, that's great. But you know what's also trending is my fucking personal life and the shitstorm that is my dad being murdered and other stuff that I don't want to get into. So sometimes
you don't have to.
Sometimes your 2-year-old does take precedent over the quartering drama, and I wish I could.
Yeah, but you're choosing to work, and your work is to be free speech. And then you platform.
My job is to be a mother. I stream to make diaper money, and again, I already said I dropped the ball. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I already said.
Well, you said you were bullied into it. That's the thing, Chrissy. I'm trying to point out to you that it feels inconsistent. You're saying, "Yay, hey, I dropped the ball," but hey, I'm also being bullied into it in the hostile chat, and then it feels like victimization, which is what Jeremy's been doing this whole time, which is why he had to delete his Twitter account today and run away.
I think Melanie shrugged off a lot of that chat onto you, and I think you were trying to be a friend, but also like the chat was ambushing her for a reason, and the reaction, like, despite the intent, which I've known you long enough to believe that there wasn't a bad intention there, but what the appearance of that was that you were trying to make sure that she didn't have to take the heat, and what that did was pass it off to you. And whether or not she intended for that to happen, we'll live in a world where she wasn't being malicious, but like, I think there's argument for the other end of that.
Oh yeah, Melanie should have known that would have happened for sure.
She knew. Yeah, no, I am going to sit down on that. Melanie would have known that drama would have followed her into that chat, despite how long in advance you had planned this. This was reason. She knew it was going to happen. She knew it was all over the internet. This has been trending for months. And like I said, I don't know, her whole argument about like, oh, I don't have to mention it goes out the window when you hear the things that LeQuartering is willing to go on live and say about her. So he's allowed to talk all the shit he wants about the people on his network. He's allowed to like, reflect on, oh, well, like, we wouldn't be sexually compatible because I don't like her boobs. While she's on her honeymoon, she's not going to address that. Come on, give me a break. I think that
that's the same reason people had Quartering under fire for the bull and cuck stuff, because why are you bringing a swinger around your wife when you're branding off of being a Christian too? His co-host's a Christian, Melanie, very, very much online talking about Christianity.
So Chrissy, when you're answering the chats for her, like I said, despite your intention, that's what's happening. That's what people are seeing.
And I was so overwhelmed by the chat, and I froze. And
that she definitely has some accountability. Okay. Like, there's still responsibility on Chrissy too, though, as a host, to research, and especially when there's a red flag that pops up. And yeah, Chrissy's saying she didn't do it perfectly, but like, there's so many things along the way, which is like, Nina tells you right before you have Melanie on, then there's a bunch of hours between that. You know, you're informed 2 weeks prior. So it's like it's your responsibility as a host, even if you're busy, your child, and of course you're a mother first. But like at the end of the day, the chat's still giving you money, whether you want to say it's your job or not. They're the ones still giving you money as a free speech platform. So to have Melanie on and she's covering for Jeremy and him deplatforming people, it's not good. And it's not good to say that you're bullied into this and that the chat's hostile, because it's valid criticism.
Well, it was very hostile.
So I want to know who's bullying you.
Yeah. Well, not having. I would have maybe leaned on Melanie more to answer the questions too.
I'm sure people in there were incendiary, but it makes it seem like victimization. So I want to know who is bullying. Who is bullying you to do this? Because you opened with, "Hey, I'm being bullied into this," and it makes it seem like everything else you say is not legitimate.
I don't know.
That conflicts with your brand, your free speech. You profit off of being free speech, and you have to be.
I'm just trying to explain that I had Melanie on.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Conversion, and I had her on to talk about her wedding. What does that have to do with Jeremy's drama? It's Melanie
because she co-signed deplatforming.
But you were told this by Nina. Like it's almost like you're not listening to what I'm saying. I didn't know Melanie.
I am.
Of course, after the fact, this is all coming together. But when I was going into that interview with Melanie, I didn't know she was co-signing the deplatforming. I didn't know if she was encouraging it or saying it was okay. I didn't think his mistakes had anything to do with her.
Right, but it was trending for 3 weeks. You have multiple red flags. You have to take time out to research
online as I was, or interviewing my friend about my conversion and her wedding.
But do you see how that sounds like a lack of accountability? Because it's like, well, I'm just here because I had to be. That's how it comes across.
No, I have this show every Sunday at 9:00, and this is the drama that came up for me this week. So of course I have to address it on my show.
Well, yeah, because it is about platforming, and unfortunately, Kino Casino can't be here to address it because Jeremy removed them, and as well as flagging other people and your co-hosts. He came for your co-host as well from FNT.
Yeah, I hope everybody who had their channels taken down by him gets them back. That's really messed up, and that's not cool.
Well, it seems I think when you have Melanie on, and she's sweeping for it by not acknowledging it repeatedly, and you say, well, hey, I'm not here to talk about that with Melanie. Well, look how it turned out. And it's a conflict of interest because you're having someone that's helping getting people that me, your co-host, other people, she's co-signing them getting deplatformed. And for all we know, this stream could go down too because of
that happening in real time.
Well, here's the thing. She's Chrissy's point of contention with that is that, well, she didn't know that Melanie was connected with that. But my point of contention with that is that and it's not about like paying for the sins of friends. Melanie herself did something wrong as a content creator that is supposed to be pro free speech. And by platforming her and her sweeping under the rug and it not being pressed, because you didn't press her on it despite Nina giving you information on him deplatforming. So that's what needs to be acknowledged. And it just feels like it keeps turning into like my toddler, which of course Chrissy is a mom and she should prioritize that. But it comes to a point where it's like, okay, well, you have to pick a lane. If you can do the job, then do the job when you need to press someone about deplatforming, because otherwise it turns into this. And I think that needs to acknowledge instead of.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. That my job that night, Brittany, was to talk to Melanie about my conversion and her wedding and Catholic stuff. My job that night was not to press her on the quartering because I did not link her with the quarterings drama.
Melanie can be disingenuous. We agree she didn't handle it right. But the responsibility isn't all on only Melanie. This is Chrissy's show, and she had Melanie on. People are super chatting. And then there comes the thing about me joining to give some pushback. Chrissy was open to it, seemingly. And then she said, well, hey, like Brittany sent me a reply too late, but I don't. And she said in the intro here, too, that by that time, she wanted to wrap it up. But I think 40 minutes is more than enough time for if she wanted to have me on.
Behind each other without pulling knives. Shame on both of you. Thank you, Tim.
Friends make sure that they keep each other not doing immoral things, and
friends hold each other accountable. So like
what a false Christian looks like. Thank you.
So I have a question. What would you have done differently? Genuine question. I think people want to know.
If I knew everything today, that if I could go back in time, you're saying?
Yeah. How would you have handled it? Because you said you don't regret having Melanie on. So what would you have done?
A fair question. I would have said, gosh, I would say, do you feel like the fact that you are an employee of Jeremy's keeps you from being, or I don't know, do you think it's a conflict of interests? Because knowing that all this drama is going on and he's your boss, do you feel like that keeps you from honestly criticizing or commenting on what's going on this?
Yeah. I just, my point of contention here is just, I see this is on Twitter for 3 weeks, happening for three weeks. Chrissy, I know you said you're busy, but at the end of the day, you're getting paid for this. It is your job. Being a mom's also your job. And, you know, people told you multiple times, and you say, well, I would have done it differently if I knew. But to me, it seems like you did know, especially when you say, for example, you know, hey, like, I can't have you on. I'm busy wrapping. I wanted to wrap this up. I don't want to ambush Melanie. Well, in a way, Melanie, like, is omitting things, and she's bringing all of the chat stuff with her. So, I mean, it's questionable to call it an ambush, though I could understand.
Maybe sounds like you're getting defensive. You don't feel defensive at all. Again, nobody should be.
Well, I feel lied to, Chrissy. So I am, because I feel lied to. I feel like I'm being told that, hey, well, one thing, I didn't want to have you on. Then the other is, oh, well, I didn't see it. But I saw the red receipt by like 11:40, and I had messaged Nina about it. And I showed this on stream as well.
I was trying to wrap the stream up. Again, like, I try to not go more than 90 minutes on my interviews. I just think, like,
right.
And
but which is like, it? Is it that you didn't see it?
I was like, it's late, and I'm, I think that makes sense.
Who's worked with you so long? And I don't feel like you're taking accountability.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, Brittany. Again, like, how I handled the stream poorly is no reflection on you. And I'm even just doing this.
As we discussed, you kind of framed it that way. So you did see it.
By the time I was wrapping the stream.
So yeah.
Okay. So because I need honesty to, like, have the conversation. So
I know.
Okay, so she saw it. My problem is, it makes me look bad when she's saying I messaged her too late when there's 40 minutes.
I don't know how many times I have to apologize for you feeling, for you being
well,
hurt
you lied. So there's that. So how can we proceed when I'm telling you that you saw it, and I saw you saw it, and then you claim you didn't see me asking for the link?
Brittany, I was looking for you to respond for a while, and then I stopped looking because I was like, I should really focus on my guest. And then by the time I saw it, it was too late to bring you on. And even though you're like, well, it's 40 minutes later, I wasn't planning for it to go 40 minutes longer. I know that, after the fact, it looks like, oh, there was plenty of time to have me on. But at that time, I was trying to wrap it up.
I'm talking to her.
I'm not trying to say I'm a victim. I'm just trying to.
Then who's bullying you? Like, you should clarify.
I'm just trying to explain what was going on at this time.
But who bullied you? You said you were bullied into this.
I feel like you are bullying me right now by asking me the same question 10 times in a row.
I feel like the Keno Casino was bullied by being deplatformed by Jeremy, and then Mel getting to lie on your stream, and then you lying about it.
Overwhelmed right now, and I didn't expect you to like.
Because I'm upset that you lied, and then you're calling me a bully after. How am I supposed to accept any sort of apology? How's anybody at this point? Fuck it. Call me a bully if you want, but you can't call me a liar.
No one's calling you a liar. You've done a good job covering everything that's been going on. And if people think I sucked at covering this, they should be sending you all of their money. Okay. How's your weekend? This week, Apology was brought to you by Coffee Brand Coffee. Very funny. Let's see. Sneed Dave Williams, as a Catholic, will you continue to platform porn stars? Why did you lie about not knowing the drama? Why did you say Jesus supports flagging? I never said Jesus supports flagging. Why did you lie about not knowing the drama? Like I said before, I knew there was drama. I just didn't think it was something Melanie had to answer for. As a Catholic, will you continue platforming porn stars? That's an interesting question. I think I might change who I have on. But again, Jesus himself associated with sinners. And if I were to just platform people who have never sinned, I would have very few guests. Oh,
long time to go still.
Yeah.
Oh, again, that's not an apology. That's an explanation. That's, hey, I have stuff going on.
Yeah.
But it's not really like an apology for having the platforming on. And then it's getting called bullied and SJWs. Like, how can you be on this platform that you make money off of and be free speech and say that?
Venti, I had my friend Melanie on to talk about my conversion and her getting married. I did not have her on. I did not have her on to talk about deplatforming.
But you know, people have the free will to super chat. They're going to super chat in and ask about it.
I didn't know people would be asking about that because I did not associate Jeremy's fuck ups with Melanie. So that's why I was completely overwhelmed when that all came in.
That's still not, it's not an excuse still. It's just an explanation. It's like, yeah, all these things are happening.
I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just, the whole reason for the stream is to give context and explain where I was at. People can believe if they want.
Only for context explain.
People can
non-apology
and think. Brittany, if you're going to keep interrupting me, I don't see how that's productive.
So is it apology or not? That's what I want to know.
Who would you like me to apologize to? You personally?
Well, there's that, considering you lied to me, threw me under the bus, said I messaged you too late. So there's that part we talked about.
I didn't throw you under the bus, Brittany. I didn't.
You said I messaged you too late. 40 minutes is not too late, and you lied about not seeing it.
Brittany, at the time, it was too late for me. I was trying to wrap the show up.
But you lied and said you didn't see it.
I feel like you're obsessing about this particular point, and that's not.
It's so if you're lying, it's obsessing. If I point out that you are lying, I'm the bully, and that's obsessing.
Okay, let's try to move on. Lindsay DC.
No, I don't want to move on, Chrissy. You're collecting super chats.
You can have your own stream where you discuss this at length, Venti, because I feel like I have addressed it.
You could have said that she wasn't.
Not because she was nodding her head. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds?
I'm not going to be gaslit and be called schizophrenic for this. People told you they wanted me on. They spammed the chat. You said, okay, you know what? I'm going to have her on. Where's her message? I send you the message. And Melanie, as you're saying this, is like smiling and nodding her head. At no point during this entire time before you end the stream did you say, hey, Melanie doesn't want you on or anything. You just followed up afterward and said, I didn't want to ambush her.
Right. I was focusing on my guest. I'm sorry I didn't bring you on, Venti. I guess I should have stopped reading the chats and had you on so that you could say to her what you wanted to say. Instead, I wanted to wrap up my show and get through the super chats and try to figure out what the hell just happened.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're admitting the inconsistency here. I appreciate it. Now the other thing is the bullying thing. Like, so this people don't view this as an apology at this point, because it's like, I'm sorry you feel this way, and you use this language a lot.
I definitely said I dropped the ball.
That's not the same.
I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing for having my friend on to talk about my conversion.
Want you to apologize for that.
And I think it's not about having your friend on.
It's
about the platforming and her sweeping for it on your stream, again, which you benefit from being free speech.
I did not associate her with the quartering's sins and horrible things that he's been doing.
Why she feels the way she feels.
I mean, here's the thing. I give Chrissie I gave her a helpful suggestion to donate this to Toys for Tots to own Jeremy because it'd be funny and it would tell people that you're more serious about like taking accountability for it. And I've given Chrissie nothing but the benefit of the doubt. And yet, you know, I'm getting called a bully. I'm getting called a bully. I'm getting like told like I'm this or that. It feels like I'm being gaslit. And so it doesn't feel like a genuine apology. And every time I say this, it's like, oh, well, hey, you seem this way, and then move on to the super chat. So it's like, this is how the whole thing is.
Part of the problem was not acknowledging the super chat. So she has to acknowledge them.
That's the thing is like this whole
well, yeah, of course she has to acknowledge
the chat. So I don't want to not acknowledge
that's not the point.
I feel like,
well, that's not the point. My point is I say something to you and then you tell me I'm acting crazy. That's what you did earlier. And then you're apologizing. It's conflicting.
Never said you're acting crazy. Do not put words in my mouth. That's not fair.
I'm not going to sit here and be told I wasn't called crazy earlier. You literally said when I called you out for lying, you said, oh, well, it seems like you can't get over this and like trying to move on. It's like, yeah, of course, read super chats later. I mean, though they should be going charity in my opinion, but that's your choice. But like now I feel like you're just gaslighting me.
What?
Like every time I'm saying, hey, this happened, it's like every time I'm saying, hey, this happened, it's like met with like a non-answer.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry you feel hurt. I just gotta get through some of these. Jake Lesba.
See, there it is again. That I feel hurt. It's never about what you do.
I'm sorry you are hurt.
You don't know how to apologize.
I'm sorry, Brittany.
I'm sorry for lying about you. I'm sorry for hurting you and lying about it to everyone. And even when you're pressed on it, you continue to. That would be a real apology, to acknowledge it and apologize for what you did. Not I feel like you're sad and I'm sorry you're sad. That's not a real apology. And that's the problem here. And this is why this stream is not going to go over well.
You're interrupting me. I might have to.
Andy Worski asked for a link on the Kino Casino wants on. So if you believe in platforming them, you can. It's your choice. But I just don't think that things are actually being acknowledged. And it's a bunch of I feel and like I'm being bullied and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. And I don't think it's good faith for you to say that, oh, well, I'm not acting friendly. I've been more than friendly and charitable. And I'm addressing the fact that I was misled and lied to, and then continue to lie until I back you in the corner and say, Chrissie, I saw you read it, for you to finally admit it. That's accountability. I'm sorry for that.
I'm sorry that it was too late in my stream to have you on. I'm sorry, like that.
You see, non-apology. You don't know how to apologize. You don't know how to acknowledge what you do, Chrissie.
Upset and you want to go, you can, you know. No one's holding.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of what I can and can't do, Chrissie, but I'm holding you accountable for what you did, and on a personal level, and for what you did with hosting somebody that's sweeping for deplatforming when you're informed about this prior. And
I did not think that I needed to call Melanie out for what Jeremy did. I feel like I've said that so many times. Goaltender, Brittany, there are effective ways to persuade people. You aren't using them.
Listen, Chrissie and I talked about this before as well. I have been more than fair. And it's not about persuading. Chrissie is literally at the point of she's lying. And so it's like, what is the point of persuasion? If she wants to lie and not take accountability for things and tell me I'm just acting crazy, then what is there?
Said you were acting crazy. Evan,
but you were spammed with super chats as well, telling you.
Interrupting. I feel like I'm just trying to get through some of these.
I'm responding to you. You should, Chrissie, like you're lucky to even get these after what happened.
Okay. So you don't want me to
pro free speech platform. I think, Chrissie, I already told you what I think you should have done. I think you should have donated for Toys for Tots instead of benefiting financially off of a mistake that you made and which you are now doubling down on and lying in front of everyone.
Andy, do you think people who are talking about this happening to me this week are financially benefiting? Maybe
they didn't have Melanie Mack on to sweep for the platform.
Because I had Melanie Mack on, I have to apologize
and gave no pushback.
And you don't have to, Chrissie. The people aren't mad that you had her on. They're mad that the chats that people paid for got ignored.
yes, Melanie was sweeping for Jeremy and not addressing the fact that he deplatformed people and reframed it in a very dishonest way. But you were also on there agreeing with her, like, yeah, they're SJWs, it's just leftist, whatever, after you were told about this.
I was also told that it was a nothing burger. So I was receiving different messages, confusing messages, conflicting messages from 2 different friends. So that
But then why agree with her? Why not question her on it then?
Because I was not associating Jeremy's fuck ups with Melanie.
I think she's not shying away from the fact that that wasn't a shining moment. That wasn't a good idea. Yeah. You know.
Well, I would like to hear Chrissie say if that's how she feels.
I'm not trying to say for her. I'm just saying that's what I'm getting from watching her talk.
It was a real shit show of an interview. I was not prepared for the reaction that I got. I was not prepared to press her on the quartering fuck ups because I didn't think that she had to speak on that and that she was like Jeremy's representative in a sense.
Well, she gets paid to co-host with him, and she also doesn't bother acknowledging the deplatforming and defends it essentially.
Yeah.
So it is on her. It's not just Jeremy. It's also on her. And I know you're saying, well, I wasn't informed. I understand that you're saying that, but it's the facts are showing that that's not true. You were informed. You just were irresponsible with it as a host.
Tonight. Do you want me to ignore them? Is that what I should do? Because when I ignored the chat last time,
Chrissie, it's pretty. Well, here's the thing, Chrissie. I think this is why I said you should just did the charity stream.
Do another,
and
anybody can look. This is my Sunday night show that I do every week. If someone thinks I'm a grifter, they don't have to super chat me. You know, people can watch the show.
It just doesn't come across very genuine. Because you're like, hey, Brittany, I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Well, anyway, I'm not going to talk about how I lied. You're just
maybe
acting
I'll do a whole
like
separate. Maybe I'll do a
certain way
where I address.
Because like to even take money from this in the first place, it's like it is counterproductive to the point of taking accountability, like profiting off of your mistakes. And many people have said that's not just me.
The point of taking accountability, which I did do, was explain everything that was going on and to talk about the things that people had questions about. And I did that.
That's not accountability, Chrissie. That's just explaining it. Accountability is, I did this, I'm sorry for this, and directly telling whoever the apology is for that.
For having Melanie on to talk about.
Nobody asked you to do that. Please stop reframing it that way. I've corrected you multiple times on this.
Okay. I think what I'll have to do is do a separate stream where I address these chats. Aaron Pipes. Thank you, Aaron. Oh, what's up, Aaron? People should realize you have a 2-year-old and a husband and a private life. You obviously were taken aback by the chat reaction to Mac. I definitely was. And she should have alerted you. Yep. All this drama that has ensnared you is her fault, not yours. I fully support you. Thank you, Aaron.
I mean, I think a show of good faith right now is allowing the people who were actually deplatformed to say something.
Okay, but I don't know these people personally. I was not planning to have them on. Again, like I'm not a big fan of just like throwing people in last minute. Like I was not planning.
I'm saying that I'm just saying this as your friend. I'm saying this is like
like soon I could do something with them for sure.